Howdy do, ladies and gentlemen. As I've mentioned in a previous video, Depth is quickly becoming one of my favorite games to play in my downtime. Games are quick and easy to pick up and play through, and the game is quite overall balanced. Some of my only real gripes include the players, and the widening chasm of a skill gap between Depth veterans and new players. Often a new player going against someone who's been around the block can feel worse in Depth than in other shooters because of the game's asymmetry. I'm here today to help alleviate that feeling by putting some of my game knowledge directly into your brain. Although a major selling point of the game is to play as a shark, I recommend most new players get their feet wet as a diver. As a diver, you will have many useful tools at your disposal, not just guns. Some of these tools will be more useful than others, so this guide is here to explain the role of each piece before you dive in. In general, utility equipment is just as important to your survival as any weapon can be, but unfortunately often takes a backseat to getting bigger guns as soon as you can. You can make a much bigger impact early game as a diver by making smart purchases and utilizing your tools correctly. So without further ado, here's the rundown. Please note all prices in this video are accurate as of the release date of this video, although if there are changes I will be marking them with annotations as I can. We start with flares. Flares are a cheap and reliable way to gain some more vision for your team. It's frickin' dark in Depth as a diver, and you need as much vision as you can. They don't actually light up much of an area, but they do illuminate sharks with a red outline if they are within range of the flare and are within line of sight. Flares cost $50 to buy, and you can hold a maximum of 3. There is no maximum limit to the amount of flares you can have active, and each lasts for 30 seconds. Flares are actually a very powerful investment early game, for a number of reasons. Vision is invaluable in general, and even 30 seconds of vision can help you net a kill, or even keep sharks away from entrances that they know are being watched. Secondly, flares cannot be destroyed by sharks. This is huge, and often presents them with an advantage over sonar buoys, which we'll cover in a moment. This indestructibility means that as long as you place a flare in a good spot, it is guaranteed to provide vision for its maximum lifetime. However, you will want to learn where good positions for flares are, and when to throw them. Flares are usually best used in hallways and just outside of doorways, where its line of sight is greatest and gives you the earliest warning of a shark. You will also want to deploy them when sharks are already fairly close by, because they only last for so long. You can stock up on 3 flares if you buy one of the semi-automatic pistols as your starting weapon at the beginning of each match. Flares can be replenished at supply kits. The sonar buoy is the flare's older brother. They provide larger distance, last until they are destroyed by a shark or explosion, and are only marginally more expensive. Buoys are used in slightly different ways than flares. Buoys need to be placed carefully, since they can be destroyed by sharks, but still have line of sight to a wide area. Each map will have its own best spot for buoys, so practice in a few private matches and see how many effective different spots there are. In addition, because of their lifespan, buoys can be placed well ahead of sharks to maximize their potential. Buoys cost $100 and can also be replenished at supply kits. The med kit is the unsung hero of Depth. A lot of players do not believe the med kit to be worth the money, since most divers who get grabbed are dead anyway. However, Depth is a game of tickets, and each ticket is extremely valuable. Each med kit can potentially save 3 divers' lives, and give you that much more of an advantage against the sharks. Med kits last until they're completely used up, and at a small cost of around $300, it doesn't put you back much to buy at least one. Medkits can only be replenished at the purchase screen, after death, or at the beginning of a match. One word of advice before you purchase a medkit. Make sure that wherever room you are in doesn't have a medkit already close by. The map has scattered medkits and ammo crates all over the place, and some of them are quite close to holdout rooms. Buying a medkit and dropping it in a room with a world medkit nearby is often just a waste of money. Save your medkit for a room without a nearby world kit. Try not to place your medkit wherever Steve is about to switch rooms as well, unless it is necessary to save a life. Ah, the sea mine. The sea mine is a double-edged sword in terms of power. Properly placed just outside of doorways, or cleverly hidden placed in hallways, mines are shark killers, deterrents, and early warning systems, all in one little steel package. A direct hit by a mine will kill most non-lunging sharks, and leave the rest at critical health. Mines will last until they are destroyed. The downsides to sea mines? They have a fuse timer, which allows sharks to zip blast them without dying, at the expense of a lunge and a stamina. The worst nail in the coffin for them is that players are absolutely terrible at placing mines. And this is bad, considering they hurt divers and Steve, as well as sharks. So please, 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 do not place mines next to Steve, and avoid placing them next to other players, or in places other players will be, such as next to medkits. Good sharks can also trigger explosions of badly placed mines to either kill players or disable Steve. Mines currently cost $200 each, and you can carry a maximum of 3. Mines can also be replenished at supply kits. The supply kit is a kit that, when deployed, can restock a diver who has recently purchased flares, buoys, or mines, and needs new ones. If your team is adequately using any of these, it is usually worth the investment for your team. Communicate with your team and deploy the kit whenever at least one of them is out of their consumable. As with the med kit, do not deploy the supply kit if Steve is getting ready to leave the current holdout room, unless this consumable is needed to save a life. Supply kits currently cost $600 and can only be bought from either the purchase screen at the beginning of the match or purchase screens after death. The Shark Shield is the diver's oh shit bubble. When deployed, the zone the Shark Shield creates distorts the environment and divers within it, and causes shark sonar not to function inside the zone. This can give you some breathing room if you're getting slammed by shark players, or even just enough time for a player to collect a lot of treasure for a single area. Steve will also drop shark shields if the diver's ticket count gets low enough to help even the odds. The shield zone lasts 30 seconds. The Shark Shield is a tool that, unless you desperately need a few seconds away from sharks, really isn't worth giving up your consumable slot for no other utility. A quick tip in case you find yourself needing a shield or are in one: hit the G key to turn off your flashlight. Flashlights can still give away your position to sharks even without their sonar. That about wraps it up for today's video. If you liked this video or heard something useful, please consider giving this video a like. If you want to see more videos like these or just more gameplay of Depth in general, you can subscribe to my channel using the red subscribe button above the description. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.